Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and do Metallica's Nothing Else Matters. The intro is probably the most complicated part, I guess, unless you're talking about the solo, but there's some memorizing to be done here on the intro, so I want to go ahead and start with that. Let's go ahead and get started. First, what you're going to do, you can use a pick or your fingers. I actually like to use my fingers on this because I have a couple of places where I have to do some chords, you know, and hit some strings and skip other strings, and I just like playing with my fingers. You can use a pick if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to play it just using my fingers. But you play all the same notes, so you can translate it using a pick easily enough. So what you're going to start off doing is that very first part that you hear coming in at the beginning of the song, this part. Right up until that point. So what we're doing is just playing all opens. I don't have my hand anywhere on the neck here. I've just got all these strings open. And so what you're doing here is just open on the E string with your thumb, then open on the G string with your first finger, okay? Then open on the B string with your middle finger, then open on the E string with your third finger, okay? So go that far, E string, G, B, and E, then back down to B with your middle finger, and then to the G string with your first finger. Okay? You're going to practice doing that, going up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And you want those notes to kind of ring together, so you don't want to stop them after you play them. You don't want it to sound like... You want to let those strings ring, so try not to actually touch the strings again until it's time for you to pluck them again. You're going to actually go through that pattern 3 times, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then you start a 4th one, but you don't finish it. The last note actually changes. So what we're going to do is practice a couple times going through this, and then I'll show you the next part. So here we go. Ready? Go. Okay, and you can see how easily you can use a pick with that one. So one more time. Now let's go into what you're going to do the 4th time you go through that. You play the first 5 notes. That whole thing is 6 notes long. So this 4th time you go through it, you're actually just going to play the first 5 notes. So it's open on the E, then it's open on the G, then it's open on the B, then it's open on the E, then open on the B. And that's where you change your notes. So you go, and then we change the notes. So here's what's going to happen. Let me play up to that point, and then we'll go into the next part. So here we go from the beginning. And then we go to the 7th fret on the E string. This is the 7th fret, this is the 9th, that's the 5th. So 7th fret, and you just basically play that note. I use my 3rd finger since it's the skinny E string, and I play that note by itself. Okay, 7th fret on the E, and then I play it again, but I also play the open E string, the low one. So, okay, that's what it's going to sound like. So E string 7th fret by itself, then E string 7th fret with open on a thick E string. Okay? Okay, so here we go from that point. Then we have open on the B string, and then open on the G string, the 3rd string, okay? So, okay, again, that is Now we're going to play this note again, and we're going to pull off to open. Okay, so I'm just plucking it that one time and pulling off to open. Remember, a pull off is just where I don't pluck the note again, but with this finger, I kind of come off, and I even go to the side a little bit and kind of re-pluck the string with that finger. Okay, so all together that is going to go like this. I think I might have messed that up. Hold on. Let's say this is the fourth time through. Oh no, I didn't mess it up. That was right. Okay, so. Okay, so that's how far we've gotten so far. Let's go ahead and go into the next part of it. So after we do this, then you're going to play open on the B string, then open on the G string, then open on the E string, then open on the B string. Okay? So that together is going to sound like this. They're all opens. Okay? And you should still have your hand up here. I'm just resting my arm because I'm teaching it. But keep your hand on the neck of the guitar because you'll have to go to fingering some notes here real quickly. So it's going to sound like this. Okay, one more time. Alright, now we're going to get to that little part that falls down the neck a little bit. I'm going to show you that part of the neck a little better so you can see this. So here's the nut down here, so here's my first fret, second, third, okay? Now, what I'm going to do here, these other ringing notes are still ringing, and the way I actually like to play it is I just like to let those keep ringing, especially this E string, because I played it and it's still ringing. And I put my first finger in the 7th fret of the E string, pluck that note, okay? Then I put my middle finger in the 8th fret on the E string and I play that note. Okay, so. And then basically what happens is, after you pluck this note, you kind of have to do a pull off and a hammer and a pull off without restrumming the string. So you go, okay? Let me get a little better angle on that. So, okay? So all together that's going to be okay? Now let's continue from there with what time we have left. Then we're going to play 5th fret with our first finger, okay? On the E string, sorry, skinny E string, 5th fret. And then play 7th fret on the E string, but just use your 3rd finger to play that note. Okay? Then 5th fret again on the E string. And slide that note down, and what I like to do is kind of slide all the way until it goes open. Sorry, so you can see that. Slide all the way until it goes open, and then I pluck it again when it's open. That's this skinny E string right here. Okay, so it's going to sound like. Okay, now that's probably good for this lesson. Because the next part we're going to go into is the, all that stuff that you recognize from the song. So, again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see this video and the other videos for the song on www.mikesguitarlessons.com. And I hope you enjoyed this.